What's up with you? You already know what it is. It's the Home Care General Jesse Yeps. And on this channel, I give you tips and secrets about the home care industry. And I want to motivate and inspire you to do your own thing. Because what I believe is we only get this one life and you should be able to live it the way that you want to. Why spend years trying to build somebody else's legacy when you could be building yours? Let's hop right into it. So look, for your home care agency owners, when you're operating your company, you got to have standards, right? You got to have a process. You got to have things that's going to run smooth so that you're not stressed out trying to operate your company, all right? And what I'm talking about, the main thing that's going to stress you out is what? Not getting your money. Not getting the bread. Not getting the bag. If you're not getting the money and you providing these services, then who's going to be left out in the middle of the ocean? It's going to be you. So what you need to do, you have to collect advance payments from your clients. Let me say that again. You have to collect advance payments from your clients. Let me tell you a story. So I have a student that's in Chicago. I ain't gonna say her name right now, but I got a student in Chicago right now, and she hit me up it's probably been like a couple months now. So let's just go back a couple months ago. She hit me up and she's like, "Coach, I had a client, and she had a live-in client at that. So she had a live-in client, which means she was making a lot of money. So yeah. So then she hit me up, and guess what? The client, in the process of her taking care of her, she passed away. Now, the client still owed her money. Still owed her around $5,000. $5,000 that she was still owed. But now the client had passed away. So now what are you going to do? You can't collect money right now. Now it's a lot of legal stuff now. Now lawyers are involved now. Who is the person over top of her, estate, and it's a lot that's going to go into this now. But if she was getting her advance payments up front, maybe she wouldn't have got the last payment. I don't know. But just depending on what day the lady passed away. But if she was getting advance payments, guess what? She would have never had to worry about being owed $5,000. So now she's stressed. She don't know. She like, well, when am I get my money? Are they going to pay me? I'm like, yeah, they probably will. But I mean, at this point, you got to wait. Now you got to go through this whole process. You got to wait till somebody's appointed to be over top of her bank account because now she's passed away. And it's a whole process. So it's important to get your money up front. And I've been screwed a few times. When I first started, I wasn't doing that because I didn't really know how to ask for the money. I'm like, okay, that's going to feel weird if I ask for this money up front and I haven't even provided the service, because that's what we usually used to. But after you get screwed several times and then the client never ends up paying you, you'll think twice about, just being like, I want to be nice and, they can pay me afterwards. No, you need to get your money up front. And it's not even about, are they good people or are they not? Look at the situation with my student now. The lady was probably a good lady, but she passed away. Now, what? She still owed $5,000, and now she's chasing. Now she's trying to stay on top. Now she's checking in with who's over top. But it's a whole process now that she could have avoided, and you can avoid if you get upfront payments. Now, what you tell the clients is, some people may be like, well, you haven't even provided the service yet. Well, this is just part of my, my contract. This is part of my agency standards. This is what we do. And you just let them know that, let's just say if a situation that you do collect the money up front and something happens, maybe you don't provide the services, you just tell them that you'll either credit them, you'll reimburse them, or give them a refund. If services are, if something happens to the point where you owe them that money, you're going to give it back to them. But at least Wouldn't you rather be on that end, trying to figure out where to write a check to give the money back, than to not get paid and you still have to pay your caregivers? And she still had to pay her caregivers, and she was out of $5,000. I think she still hasn't got paid yet. And it's been, I think, almost going on 3 months. So now you don't want to start your agency off like that, because if you just bootstrapping and you just getting started and you don't really have that much money, and I'll explain to you how I got started. I didn't have a lot of money to get started in this game, so what I had to do was stay on top. After getting screwed, I didn't have a lot of money, and I'm like, okay, I got to stay on top of this, or I'm going to be trying to take out loans and something else to pay these caregivers. Or they're going to be like, I worked and you didn't pay me. And I never wanted to ever not pay the caregiver for doing the work. So I depended on that money to have it in my hand, so that I knew for sure if anything went south, at least I had the money to pay the caregiver. So I stayed on top of it. I'm like hitting the client up. Soon as it's ready for the invoice, I'm hitting everybody up like, hey, how you doing, client? Yeah, today is Monday. I need that money. I need that money. I ain't saying it like that, but, you say it in a professional way, but you need the money. If you don't have money stacked up in your account, and regardless, if you do have money, still, you want to get that money up front. Advance payments is the way to go. Do not provide the service and then get paid afterwards. Because you can get yourself in some deep trouble then. Because you better have that money to pay those caregivers. And if you don't, it's going to be a big problem for you. So, in the beginning, and even throughout your agency, make sure you are practicing getting that money up front. And we're talking about getting, if you have to, you can set them up on ACH draft through their bank account. Credit card, put the credit card on file. Or, you send the invoices out, they can pay the credit cards right. They can pay on the invoice with their credit cards. I would not recommend getting checks now unless you're going to pick it up. That's the only way. Starting out, that's the only way that I would collect checks. Cash. They got cash. Hey, I'll come get that too. But make sure that you get paid, because you do not want to be in a situation like my student where she is still owed this money. And guess what? She had to figure out how she was going to pay her caregiver. She was stressed out. And she still staying on top of the lawyers, trying to make sure, And then when she spoke to the lady that's over top of this particular client's estate, which is a friend, the lady said she told her that you got to wait in line. She said she got a lot of stuff she got to pay for. So waiting in line, at the end of the day, yeah, she still owe you. But if you got to wait in line, and depending on how much money this lady has, it could run out before it gets to her. So for you to avoid that, make sure you get advance payments. And if they don't want to pay you up front, then, you might want to reconsider taking them on as a client. Because these are your policies. And if they don't go by your policies, then they're probably going to be a difficult client anyways. So get that money up front. Get that, what they say, get that money, honey. You better get that money up front, though. I'm telling you. I think about it I think about it in the street, when I was hustling, guess what? When I gave people credit and stuff like that, it was always on my mind. I'm like, man, I ain't even try to have these issues with, I ain't got it and all that. So if you get your money up front, or get your money right then and, with the transaction, you never got to worry about that, because you already got your money. So if something do go south, like if this lady did pass away, and she had already wrote that $5,000 check, whatever days that you didn't service, now you could have just wrote a check back to them. Hey, here you go. But now she doesn't have any of that money. So that's stressful. She trying to figure out how to do without that $5,000 right now. Now you got to probably take out a loan, or she got to rob Peter to pay Paul, or stressed. So look, don't do that. Take my advice, get the advance payment, and you'll never have no issue. All right? Hope y'all learned something today. I'll be back with another video. Tune in. And always remember, just to exist isn't living. Because if you just existing, you're not living. Holla back.